we can look at performance from various angles. What most people do that I've seen has been, let's look at blood work. What's the blood work say? Over these last 40 years, many people have come and say, okay, I'm going to switch my diet and I'm going to chronicle everything. Which blood work, which markers should I really keep track of? I want to do before and after for 30 days or 90 days or whatever the period of time is. And I want to be able to show those markers. Which should they be? And I go, there aren't any blood markers that are really going to be a big deal. That it's going to be so convincing that it's going to tell somebody anything. As I mentioned earlier, we do our blood averages based on typically somewhere between 10 and 100,000 people who visit doctors and get their blood work done, and then we come up with the average. Well, these are 10 to 100,000 people who are sick. Otherwise, they never would have went to a doctor. Healthy people don't go to doctors. Doctors don't have access to healthy people to even check 10,000 super healthy people and let's look at their blood work, let alone 10,000 vegans and check their blood work, because at that point, many of the key parameters change for a vegan. Some go up, some go down. And vegans call me all the time, say, I'm really worried about my blood work. It came out abnormal here. And I go, congratulations, that's good. You're lower than average, it's supposed to be. Or higher than average, it's supposed to be.
I actually had that with my count of white cells.
Yes, white cell count plummets.
Like my white count cell was below the average and the range, and then actually looked at Dr. Greger's work on it, and there's actually a stronger association with longevity when you have a lower white blood cell count. So my doctor was like, oh, that's a problem, you need to fix it. I was like, well, I don't think so. I think that's
so this is the point, is that yes, we could look at an individual parameter. What people ask me, they go, okay, well, if we're not supposed to do blood work, how do I do before and after? And I just, performance. Just show me your physical performance. Show me your mental performance. Try and memorize something, or play those little memory games, flip cards, whatever it is. There's lots of little memory games. Play a memory game before you start. Play the same memory game 30 days later after 30 days on raw. Let's see what's happened to your concentration. Let's see what happens. What's your mile time? How fast can you run 1 kilometer, or how fast can you run a mile? Whatever type of training you do, show me where you're at now on your training, and show me where you are 30 days later on your physical training, mental training, emotional training, spiritual training. Come up with ways to measure and show me that. And I believe you will show me something far more powerful than you could ever demonstrate in blood work.
I love that. So let's do some tests for our viewers. I think physical, it's easy for people to come up with their tests, like running or how much you bench press, whatever. Mental, I like your idea of the game. How would you do for spiritual and emotional?
Spiritual might be keeping track of how much time you stay in the present. How much time do you speak in first person, and how much time do you slip into second or third person speech? Little things like that.
What do you mean by second third person speech?
When I say, when you go to the store and you buy certain things and then you realize you bought the wrong thing and you bring it back, well, that's all second person. I'm talking about you. How do I know that anything I'm saying is true? When I go to the store and I buy the wrong thing, okay, when I'm speaking of myself, I'm much more in the present.
Yeah.
And what's cool is what the other person hears. Because when I say, and when you do this, the other person hears the word you. When I say I, the other person hears I and thinks I.
Mm.
Whereas when they think you, they're reflecting it back on me. So it's, let alone we can go into they, right? And we go into third person. So staying present and just tracking how much of the day are you present. Far easier to stay present on a raw food diet. The cooked food factors, many of the cooked food factors dumb us and dull us down to where we become emotionally numb. And it's just harder. So you can keep track. Minutes per day, minutes per hour.
I do believe eating a raw food diet is a spiritual practice in a way and an emotional practice, because it's not as good as numbing your emotion, for sure.
I mean, as I said the other day, the most spiritual experience I've ever had in my life was plucking a piece of fruit from a tree that I had planted.
To have maybe a closing question on the cooked food. I had been following before my raw food journey quite a bit Dr. Greger. I think he's doing some good job, but also, he talks about some products, like even some fruits, like tomato is a fruit actually, that can have better bioavailability when cooked. How do you feel about that?